What is up, guys? Phoenix here, and welcome to part 1 of our Inosuke Hashibara from Demon Slayer pixel art tutorial. So, a little disclaimer for the start, because every time I do one of these tutorials, I always have to go over some things for the newbies. First off, make sure you're on a pixel art world, or a world where you have space. As you can tell, I'm 3 above bedrock, so I shouldn't run into any height limit problems. But for the build, you're going to want around 175 width by 175 height for space. And I'm starting on the left side of the build, so I have about 175 free spaces to the right and about 175 to go up. Other than that, as I'm going through the build, we do tend to use coal for the frame and grass blocks for placement blocks. And what a placement block is a temporary block that helps us build shapes. So for example, if I was to have this single coal right here and I wanted to connect to it, I would tell you to go up and to the right, and then we would do a placement block to the top or the right, hence the words up and to the right. And then we can say 2 flat, or we can just say 1 single, or we can say 2 vertical, and then we would go and delete the placement blocks after. So now that we've gotten that down, I will be giving you guys kind of baby steps on the first part, but as we get into the tutorial further, I'll stop babying you and hopefully you guys catch on to the lingo and how I do these things. Without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. So first off, on the left side of your space, you're going to want to put 1 single on the ground, like so. Then we're going to put a placement block on top or to the right side so that we can go up and to the right, 2 vertical, 1, 2, up and to the right, 3 singles, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, we just used the placement blocks to bridge up 3 singles, and this is all connecting at diagonals. Then we're going to put a placement block to the top side and go up and to the right, 2 flat, 3 times in a row. So 1, 2, that's 1, placement block on top, 1, 2, that's 2, placement block again, 1, 2, that's 3. Perfect. Then we can go back and delete these extra dirt blocks. From there, placement block on top of the end again, and we can go up and to the right, 1 single, placement block again, up and to the right, 2 flat, and we're going to do that 3 times in a row. So 1, 2, that's 1, placement block at the end, 1, 2, that's 2, and finally 1, 2, that's 3. Alright, very simple so far. You can always use the right hand camera screen if you need a little bit of assistance just to make sure yours looks right. Because we're so early in the beginning though, you can kind of use the left hand screen right now and just see if yours is correct or not. Anyways, from those 3 sets of 2, what we can do is go to the top one right here and add an extra 2 pieces of coal to the right of it. So 1, 2, so now it's 4 in length. But what we're going to do is from the first extra single we added, so this one on the left, we're going to put 2 coals on top, 1, 2, and from the one all the way on the end, so this last one right here, we're going to put 2 below it, 1, 2, and 2 above, 1, 2. Now, from the 2 vertical at the bottom, we're going to go down and to the right, 2 vertical, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 1, 2. We can then go to the 5 vertical right here. And on the top block, so this one in the top right corner, we can put an extra 3 pieces of coal to the right. 1, 2, 3. After those 3 flat, we can then put a placement block to the right. And then from that placement block, what we can do is we can put 1 coal on top and 1 to the right. Perfect. Sorry if my camera's moving around a little bit. It's like I'm getting used to the sensitivity, that's the word. Anyways, from this coal we have on the right here, we're going to add an extra 1 to the right, so that becomes 2 flat, just like this. We're then going to put another placement block at the end there, and from that placement block, we're going to put 3 above it, 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right, 1, just like that. From that 1 to the right, we're then going to go down into the right 3 vertical. So placing block underneath or to the right side. That's why I said down into the right. 1, 2, 3. Down into the right 2 singles. So placing block to the bottom or right. 1, 2. Down into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Placing block on the end. Down into the right 3 singles now. 1, 2, 3. Then placing block underneath, and we're gonna go down into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. And then down into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. From that 3 flat, we're gonna go to the middle block right here and put an extra coal on top, like so. Then from that extra coal on top, we're gonna go up and to the left, 3 more singles. 1, 2, 3. From that top single, we're gonna then put a placement block on the top or left side, so we can go up and to the left, 3 vertical. 1, 2, 3. Placement block on top. Up and to the left 6 vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then from that 6 vertical now, we're going to start from the top and count down 3. So 1, 2, 3, just like this. And on that 3rd block, I want to put 1 coal to the right. Once we have that 1 coal to the right, we're then going to put a placement block to the right or underneath, so that we can go down into the right 5 more singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 2 flat again. 1, 2. Down into the right 3 flat, and we're going to do that 2 times in a row. So placement block to the right or bottom side. 1, 2, 3, that's 1. 1, 2, whoops. 2, 3, that's 2. Down into the right 5 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down to right 7 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And from the 7 flat, what we can do is starting from the left side, let's count over 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And from that 4th block, let's put a coal on top. From that 1 on top, we can then put a placement block to the top or left side, and we can go up and to the left 2 flat. 1, 2. And we're going to keep putting our placement block to the top or left side for this next segment, just to keep things flowing smoothly. So from there, we can go up and to the left 1 single, placement block, up and to the left 2 flat. 1, 2. Up and to the left 1 single. And if you see, we just have the same patterns. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. It's going to change up soon. We just need to put another 2. So let's go up into the left 2 flat. 1, 2. Like so. Then what we're going to do is from this 2 flat, on the right block, we're going to put a placement block above it so that we can go up into the right 11 vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then you can mark the top block in that 11 vertical because we'll come back to it later. Actually, I don't think we're coming back to it later. We're going to work with this one, actually. I got confused. But if we go back to the bottom of the 11 vertical where we have the 2 flat, on the left block in the 2 flat, we'll actually mark that to come back to later. I didn't even realize that this connects to the right side of the build. This is one that goes into the hair. So we're going to want to work with the 11 vertical. That's just a minor correction. So just take a second, realize what I just said, so that way nobody makes any mistakes. All right. From the 11 vertical, we're going to go to the top of it and put a placement block above it. And go up and to the right, 2 vertical, 1, 2. Up and to the right, 9 vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. From that 9 vertical, what we're going to do is, starting from the bottom, we're going to find the 3rd, 4th, and 5th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's those 3. And each of those are going to get 1 coal to the right, like so. What we're also going to do is, starting from the top, we're going to count down 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I guess that's 1 above the top block here, as you can see. So this is the 4th block right here. And that 4th block is going to get 3 pieces of coal to the left. 1, 2, 3. Like so. So let me just zoom out so you can see what we did. It's a tiny bit confusing, but I think everybody should be able to follow along, especially with the zoomed out view, just like this. Alright, from that 3 flat, we're going to mark it because we can come back to it later. It's going to end up connecting to that hair right here, so that's why I'm not really working with it right now. But from the 3 vertical, we can build off of it right now and then continue. So from the bottom block in this 3 vertical right here, we're going to put a placement block underneath and go down into the right, 2 singles, 1, 2. Down into the right, 2 vertical, 2 times in a row, 1, 2, that's 1, 1, 2, that's 2. Down into the right, 1 single, and then down into the right, 2 vertical, 1, 2. And that's it for this little tangent right here. We can follow this back to the 9 vertical we have right here and go to the top block now. From that top block in the 9 vertical, let's put a placement block to the top side and go up into the left, 2 vertical, 1, 2. Up into the left, 8 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you notice from the right hand camera screen, he is a little bit too close. As we get to the right side, I will move him, but just for now, it's not that important. Anyways, from this 8 vertical, we're going to find the second to last block from the top. So this one right here. And I'm going to put 1 coal to the right. We're then going to go down into the right, 1 single. So place a block underneath or to the right side. 1. Down into the right, 2 flat. 1, 2. Might have noticed a jump cut right there and a repositioning of my cameraman. My computer just shut off, so that was really insane, kind of disgusting to be honest. But let's continue this, guys. So I think everything should be lined up perfectly. It's just that the right hand camera screen has more space now. So from that 2 flat now, we're going to put a placement block to the right side and go down into the right, 2 singles. So 1, 2. Down into the right, 2 flat, 1, 2. Down into the right, 1 single. Down into the right, 2 flat, 1, 2. Down into the right, and we're gonna actually do this pattern 2 more times. I'm gonna try and, whenever I see these patterns, I'll try and break it down for you. So we're gonna do the 1 single, 2 flat pattern 2 more times in a row, okay? So that means we're gonna put a placement block to the bottom or right side, 1 single, 2 flat, that's 1. And let's do it again, 1 single, 2 flat, that's 2. Perfect. Now from there, we're gonna go down into the right, 9 flat. So placement block to the right or bottom side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is the middle point of his chin or whatever. So if you are kind of low on space, this is the kind of center of the build. So as you can see, this is kind of in the center of my cameraman, so that's a good point. If you guys are doing the cameraman thing as well, or if you guys are just measuring space out, just kind of eyeball it from here. Anyways, from here, we're gonna go up and to the right, 2 flat, and we're gonna actually do that 6 times in a row. So we're just gonna put a placement block to the right, and we're gonna go 1, 2, that's 1, 1, 2, that's 2. Remember, 6 times. 1, 2, that's 3, 1, 2, that's 4, 1, 2, that's 5, and then finally 1, 2, that's 6. Perfect. And then we can go and delete all these extra dirt blocks. From there, placement block on the end, and we can go up and to the right, 1 single. Up and to the right, 2 flat, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Up and to the right, 1 single again. Up and to the right, 2 flat. 1, 2. And we're almost at the other side of the neck. If you guys are new here as well, in the first part of every tutorial, I just like to go from left to right on the build, and then we worry about details later. So once we reach down to the ground on the right side of his shoulder, we'll kind of be done with this part. Anyways, from the 2 flat, we're going to go to the right block, and we're going to go up and to the right. 3 singles. 1, 2, 3, like so. From that top single, we're going to put 2 coal to the right. Actually, no, sorry. We're going to go up and to the right 2 flat. So 1, 2, like that. Not 2 coal to the right. We went up and to the right 2 flat. I apologize. Then we can mark that 2 flat. Sorry, I deleted it. We can mark the 2 flat. And then from that single, we're going to go below it. So we're backtracking to the single right before that 2 flat. And we're going to put 10 pieces of coal going straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From that 10 flat, we're going to put a that 10 vertical. We're going to put a placement block underneath it like so. And on the left side of it, we're going to go down into the left 2 vertical. 1, 2, like so. Placement block underneath. Down into the left 3 vertical. And we're going to do that 2 times in a row. So 1, 2, 3. That's 1. Placement block underneath. 1, 2, 3. That's 2. Down into left 2 vertical. 1, 2. And then down into left 4 vertical 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. Placement block to the bottom or left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2. Perfect. Hopefully you guys are removing your extra placement blocks every time you're done with it. You know, clean up your own workspace. You guys should know this. Don't clean up the marking blocks, of course. Only the placement blocks you're using to assist you in your coal placements. Anyways, we're going to backtrack this all the way back over here to the 10 vertical we had. And on the bottom block, instead of going to the left side now, we're going to put a placement block underneath again to work with the right side. So from the right side of that bottom block, we're going to go down into the right 1 single, like so. Down into the right 2 vertical, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Down into the right 2 singles. 1, 2. Down into the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. Down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. Down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. And then finally down into the right 2 singles. 1, 2. So if I zoom out a little bit, if you need to make sure that this little plank we just built is in the correct spot, what you can do is take the 2 singles and go to the bottom block right here. And if we drag a placement block to the left over here, it should line up with the second to last block from the bottom of that 4 vertical. So let's just drag this over and check it out. And yep, see, the second to last block from the bottom in that 4 vertical lined up perfectly. So that means this little string is built correctly. Now that might not mean that the rest of the thing is built correctly. It just means that these 2 planks you've built, the branches, are correct. All right. So if you messed up somewhere else, that's possible. But just so you know, if you did these 2 branches and that happened, that means your branches are correct. Anyways, what we're going to do on this right branch is we're going to backtrack a little bit close to the top where we have the 2 vertical 2 times in a row right here. And what we want is this second one on the right. So right here, let me just mark it so you can see. And then zoom out just in case if you need a little bit more perspective. So this one right here, we're going to go to the top block in it. And we're going to put 2 coal to the right. 1, 2. And this is what we're going to use to hopefully start bridging the shoulder down to the ground. All right. So this part's a little bit delicate because his hair is going to trickle a little bit into the way. But if you follow carefully, you should be fine. So we're going to put a placement block to the right side and go down into the right 2 flat 4 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. 1, 2, that's 3. And then finally 1, 2, that's 4. And then delete these placement blocks. Placement block at the end and go down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Down into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Down into the right 2 flat again. 1, 2. And here's one of those bridges I was talking about. So in that 2 flat we just placed, we're going to put an extra coal to the right side. But from that extra coal, we're going to put 3 below it. 1, 2, 3. And 5 above it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From the 5 above, we can mark that top block and work with it later. But we're going to work with the bottom right here just to keep working on this shoulder. So from this bottom right here, we're going to go down into left 5 vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down into left 2 singles. 1, 2. And from that bottom single, if we go back to the... sorry, not from the bottom single. If we backtrack from here to the 5 vertical we just placed and go to the bottom block in that 5 vertical, so this one right here, we can put 1 coal to the right. Then from that 1 coal to the right, we can go up into the right 2 singles. So placement block 1, placement block 2. From there, we can go up into the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. Up into the right 1 single. And then up into the right 2 vertical again. 1, 2. From that 2 vertical, we can mark the top block. But from the bottom block, I want to put 2 coal to the right. 1, 2. Just like this. From that 2 to the right, let's put a placement block on the end and go down into the right 3 flat 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, that's 1. Placement block at the end. 1, 2, 3, that's 2. From that 3 flat at the end, what I want you to do is on the middle block, we're going to put 4 pieces of coal above it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can mark those 4 because we're not working with them yet. But then we can go to the last block in that 3 flat. And we can go below it and add 7 going straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Now from here, we're going to go down to left 2 singles. 1, 2. From this vertical, 8 vertical we have here now, we can start from the bottom and count up 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3. And add 1 coal to the right. Once you have that single placed to the right of the 3rd block from the bottom, we're going to put a placement block to the right or top side. And we're going to go up and to the right. 1 single, like so. Placement block on top. Up and to the right 2 vertical. 1, 2. From the top block in that 2 vertical, we're going to put an extra 2 pieces of coal to the right. 1, 2, just like that. From the middle block in this, we're going to put 12 pieces of coal on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we can mark that top block and go back to the bottom. And then from the right block, so this block right here, we're going to put a placement block to the right or underneath and go down into the right 2 flat 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Alright, and this is like the final stretch to hitting the ground. We're going to go down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 2 flat 3 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. 1, 2, that's 3. Hopefully you're getting into the flow of putting the placement blocks there for yourselves. From those 2 flats, if we go to the middle one right here, and we go to the right block in that middle one, so this block right here, we can put an extra 2 coal above it. 1, 2, and then mark those 2 coals and come back to it later. We can then resume what we're doing and go to this final set of 2 flat. And on the right block in it, we're going to put a placement block underneath or to the right side and go down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Down into the right 2 singles. 1, 2. And then finally, to hopefully reach the ground if you did everything correctly, we're going to put a placement block to the bottom or right side and go down into the right 3 vertical. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So looking at the right hand camera screen, you can see we are now perfectly framed from left to right. Hopefully yours touched the ground correctly, and that's a good point for us to stop for part 1. and I can readjust the cameraman for part 2, and we should be ready to continue with the hair and some of the face. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the pixel art tutorials. If you are, be sure to like and subscribe for more pixel art content. This is Phoenix, and as always, I'll see you guys later.